Are police officers allowed to arrest old people or military men? Do they deserve to wield so much power? Who calls the cops to order when they step out of line? In this video, we'll highlight 6 incidents where cops took things too far. Number 1. Police officers bully Army lieutenant. On the 5th of December 2020, U.S. Army Lieutenant Karen Nazario was driving his brand new Chevy Tahoe when 2 Windsor police officers, Joe Gutierrez and Daniel Crocker, pulled him over and repeatedly ordered him to get out of his car. The lieutenant didn't respond initially and later showed his hands when the officers requested he did so. The officers continued to insist he step out of the vehicle, but he refuses and demands to know what's going on.
Let me see your hands! How many occupants are in the vehicle?
What's going on?
How many occupants are in your vehicle?
It's only myself. Why are your weapons drawn? What's going on?
Open the door slowly and step out! Open the door!
I'm not getting out the vehicle. What's going on?
You can see that the soldier is afraid for his life and is very cautious about the whole thing. But the officers already see him as a threat and pepper spray him.
Air 4 OCs deployed. Get out of the car! Get out of the car now!
Even while he's in full military fatigue.
Please talk to me about what's
Yes,
going
sir.
on.
You're not.
Can you please talk to me about what's going on? Why am I being treated like this? Why?
You're not cooperating. Get on the ground.
Why am I being treated like this? This is really messed up. This is really messed up.
Sir, what?
It turns out he was stopped and manhandled for not having any license plates.
We can either sit here with you until you get your eyes back where you can see, and I mean at a good distance, you're safe to drive, okay? And you're going down the road. Go do your deployment, go continue serving my country, which I respect and I thank you for, okay? Or we can push the issue, write you tickets for no license plate displayed and for obstructive of justice. I don't think we need to go that route because that route makes the Army get involved, and I know how they are. You don't know this. The Army, he'll vouch for it.
The clip got out in public, and a lawsuit was filed against the cops. The lieutenant's lawyer even discusses the case in a separate YouTube video, so feel free to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more insane videos like these. Number 2. A nurse gets arrested for doing her job. On the 26th of July, 2017, Detective Jeff Payne of the Salt Lake, Utah Police Department arrived at the University of Utah Hospital, Salt Lake City, Utah, to get a blood sample from an unconscious accident victim from a fatal 2-vehicle crash that claimed the life of the other driver. The Logan Police Department handling the investigation didn't suspect drunk driving at the time of the crash, but requested Detective Payne to obtain a blood sample to check if the patient had any chemical substances in his system. Detective Payne arrived at the hospital and spoke with nurse Alex Wubbles about obtaining the blood sample.
Yes, please. So I'm going to arrest her. We have exigent circumstances for a blood draw on a patient that's upstairs. She is refusing, and my lieutenant says that if she doesn't,
Are you with?
Salt Lake City Police,
Salt Lake City.
which I'm sure you'll get to meet my lieutenant soon. And if I don't get to go get the blood, I'm taking her to jail. If things still keep going the way they're going, I'm arresting her for interfering with a criminal investigation.
Okay, I'm just being told what to do by my entire hospital.
And I'm being told what to do by my boss.
And he doesn't have
And there's
that.
also the laws that talk about exigent circumstances and implied consent law, which does apply.
Okay, I can have you.
Okay, and it's coming from mine. But I either go away with blood and vials or body in tow. And that's my only choices. This young lady right here, right now, is not free to go about her business. Her watch command, if she does not allow me to go get a blood draw from a guy up in the burn unit, she's going to jail.
Sir, I'm just a nurse trying to protect the patients and do what my hospital has obligated me to do.
Believe it or not, I'm trying to protect him too.
I have 2 officers now, another officer. Is this patient under arrest?
Nope.
He still says he's not under arrest. Do you have an electronic warrant?
No.
No. No to every single one. So that's hold on, Brad. So I printed this off. This is what I was told to print off. I have this. It says obtaining blood samples for police enforcement from patients suspected to be under the influence. This is something that you guys agreed to with this hospital. The three things that allow us to do that are if you have an electronic warrant, patient consent, or patient under arrest. And neither of those things, the patient can't consent. He's told me repeatedly that he doesn't have a warrant, and the patient is not under arrest.
Okay, so I take it without those in place, I'm not going to get blood.
You're making a huge mistake right now. Threatening the nurse.
Okay. No, we're done. We're done. You're under arrest. We're going. We're done. We're done. I said okay, she can sit in my car while we're coming.
This is unnecessary, man.
You're right.
This is my department, and this is completely unnecessary.
I'm leaving now with her. Okay? Anybody who wants to prevent that, that's your option. He will be taking them.
Please, sir, you're right.
Then walk.
No, I have no reason to walk.
That is it.
Outside the hospital, Lieutenant James Tracy, Detective Payne's watch commander, also shows up and tries to explain the position of law enforcement and why hospital policy seems to be in the way of a criminal investigation.
We're breaking the law. If we're doing wrong, okay?
Call Miller.
Listen to me. If we're doing wrong, there are civil remedies. What I'm telling you is we are not making a mistake. Okay? I've done this for 22 plus years. I know what the law is when it comes to search and seizure. What you have done, because your bosses are telling you to, has been to prevent this officer who was called out to do a job to do his job. That's obstructing justice.
Eventually, the officers let Nurse Wubbles go after 20 minutes without filing any charges. In late 2017, Nurse Wubbles settled with the city and the university that owns the hospital for $500,000 without any lawsuit. Wubbles stated that she'll use a portion of the money to help people get access to police body camera footage of incidents involving themselves. In the following months, the Salt Lake City Police Department fired the arresting officer, Detective Jeff Payne, and demoted his watch commander, Lieutenant James Tracy, to the rank of officer. Number 3. A cop blunders by dragging an arrested woman. A Tampa Bay police officer has been dismissed from duty after forcefully dragging a woman across the ground after her arrest. On November 17th, Officer Gregory Damon was dispatched to the Tampa Bay Family Health Center. According to the callers, the woman was unwilling to vacate the area, despite their request.
Come on, walk to my car. Walk to my car.
Why you saying that but pulling me? So go on and drag me, because that's what you're doing anyway.
If you ain't walking, just walk to my car.
How you gonna tell me that but you pulling me?
After detaining the woman for trespassing, Officer Gregory Damon proceeded to transport her to Orient Road Jail. However, upon reaching the destination, she adamantly declined to exit the squad car.
Out the car.
When the I got the right to get out the car when I had a right to get in the car?
In the body camera footage, Damon can be seen engaged in a heated argument with the woman, during which he makes a statement indicating that he intends to forcibly remove her from the vehicle.
Miss Marsha, I'm gonna drag you out of this car.
I already know.
I don't want to drag you out,
me.
but I need you to come get out the car.
Do what you did off the porch.
As the situation gets heated, the woman's voice can be heard as she persistently urges the officer to drag her. As she insisted, Damon proceeds to pull her across the ground when she continues to refuse to get up.
Stand up.
You want me back? You can't pick my big can. That's what the officer was jealous of.
Stand up, come on.
He couldn't pick my big up. He was jealous of my big. You want me in this position, dog?
According to the Tampa Police Department, the woman didn't sustain any injuries during the incident. However, Officer Damon was found to be in violation of several department policies and was subsequently fired. This next clip might be heartbreaking to some, but it shows the police taking their job too seriously. Number 4. A cop bullies a 73-year-old woman with dementia. The cop receives a distress call and follows through. He found the old woman sauntering down the road after being ejected from a nearby Walmart for shoplifting. At first, she ignores him, but then he gets out and confronts her. She tries to resist arrest, as she repeatedly says she's only going home.
Okay, let's stop. Come on, come on.
I'm going home.
No, on the ground. Stay on the ground. On the ground. On the ground. On the ground. Bravo 242. He forces her to the ground and calls for backup. A lady cop appears, and together they restrain her and then forcibly throw her into the cop car. A passerby is concerned about the cop's tactics and requests an audience. The cop explains the situation as much as he can, then returns to his car to round things off. But then the old lady says her age, and I'm sure you all thought this was too much. All that police brutality on a 73-year-old woman? And for what? Come on, stand. Down. Yep. All right, sit down. Okay. You got him?
I have this. Hey, we're gonna sit in the car, okay?
It turns out she was suffering from dementia, and that explanation actually makes a lot of sense, all things considered. We think that the cops should have let it slide, because the store had already taken their stuff back. This old lady was then cuffed in a holding cell, awaiting family. But it might interest you to know that this sadistic act got the cop involved fired, and he now suffers from depression. Next, this clip shows a couple of cops tossing a coin to decide if they should arrest a speeding driver or just hand out a ticket. Number 5. To be or not to be arrested.
Stay in the car.
Sorry, my window doesn't hold.
Off to Brown Roswell Police Department. You know how fast you were just going, ma'am?
I'm so sorry, I'm late for work.
So you could go over 80 miles per hour on 92? No, ma'am. You have your driver's license and your insurance card?
Yeah, my insurance.
Turn off the car and pass me the keys, please. The ground's wet, it's been raining, you're going over 80 miles an hour on this type of a road. That's reckless driving, ma'am.
While the computer was acting up, you could hear the cops discussing probable cause. Then, the strangest thing happens. Another cop tosses a coin and says A for heads and R for tails. The A stands for arrest and the R stands for release. The coin lands on tails, meaning they have to release her, but not without a speeding ticket. The arresting officer goes over, handcuffs the driver, and moves her into the cop car. Why? The cop actually wanted to search the car for any contraband before writing up the ticket.
A head, R tail. Okay. If I could notarize my own stuff, I would.
Well, we just went up to Bentgrass looking for you because it says 92 in Bentgrass in your post office.
These cops had the nerve to toy with their jobs, and when this footage was reviewed by their superiors, they got axed from the force. Are certain citizens above the law? Let's see in this next clip. Number 6. A senator's daughter gets a cop in trouble. A cop pulls over a white SUV, and unbeknownst to him, its driver is the daughter of a senator. And the reason he stopped her was because the tints on her vehicle seemed like they were too dark. She assures the cop that they've been checked and approved by another officer, and she's quite cooperative for a senator's daughter.
Sam? No. You know how dark your window tint is?
Oh, Officer McDaniel checked it last week. I swear to you, he pulled me over for it. You can check it, though. But yeah, he pulled me over last week for it.
Dark as hell.
Yeah, he pulled me over last week for it. But he checked it and said it was fine.
So, this cop does the smartest thing he can think of. He calls another officer in the area. His buddy eventually arrives, and they proceed to measure the lady's tint. She's even good-natured about the whole thing, as they make jokes about it. The cop sticks his meter on the car window, and it reads a value of 12. This figure is actually over the limit, so he goes to his cop car and retrieves a ticket, which he hands over to the senator's daughter. He repeats the date of her court hearing and gives some other information. She admits she won't be in town that day. The cop tells her she has the option of paying the fine. And yeah, the cop eventually gets fired for being a stickler for the law. The clips in this video were brought to us by PoliceActivity, 9 News, AuditTheAudit, WJHL, and KHOU 11. Make sure to check out the description below for a link to their channels and give them the credit they deserve. If you liked the video, you'll like the follow-up one too, so check it out.